Good evening, Radical Jack here. Oh yeah, I've been told not to look at myself, just to look into the camera. So don't know how that is going to look. It feels a bit uh, odd, just doing that. I think because maybe somebody told me once, an actor maybe that yeah, you just don't look into the camera. I don't think I got it wrong, maybe, So I'm just looking in the camera now, not at myself, which is quite hard not to do. So there we go. I am just after coming from the sauna, and this is kind of like going to be, I don't know, an itinerary or a summary or some kind of, yeah, why am I really doing this, If one hasn't got that already, there's been questions asked, what is it exactly that I am doing? Um, so it's quite interesting, talking to people in the sauna, and people feeling inspired, and everybody seems to be on a similar train. It's quite interesting. And yeah, the feedback is always good, interesting, shocking for some people. Like wow, and. But yeah, young and old, really digging it, really digging it. I'm very passionate about this whole story now, because um, a lot of these things that I do or that happen for me, all they happen kind of organically almost, and you know to wake up sometimes and just realize that, oh wow, this is the year of the dog. I'm a dog, and my friends just texted me, Simi boy, he just said on the 18th is where it begins this year, the Chinese year. The day his mum died, these little synchronicities are numbers are interesting, like 113,000 exactly on my clock when I arrived at the house. And the other day, well, it wasn't the other day now, it's obvious it wasn't the other day, but recently, a few weeks ago, it was like 111,100. And I noticed the clock just a mile from the house, and then the extra one came, and while downloading in some way some kind of vision or inspiration, or having inspirational thoughts in my mind, or there's always this synchronicity, of numbers and mathematics in a geometrical sense, not this crazy mathematics that I have a clue about, Um, but yeah, just interesting synchronicities, and so my first discovery was whilst attempting to climb a mountain every day for what at the time I thought was 93 days turned out to be 88 days, following the moon cycle, and it became like a double infinity walk, if you like, and yeah, started to see more and more the synchronicity of we say numerology, numbers, and yeah, also they even just sitting in the sauna yesterday, there was a record attendance for this guy who was following football, maybe Man United, 88,000, record attendance. Just always as if there's this unseen hand constantly guiding, one. Once, most of the time, you can get out of the way, and so this is the story for me, about coming away from what was indoctrination and religion, in the Catholic sense for me, being an Irish person, and the dogma and conditioning coming from school and various other places, and just seeing hypocrisy, but not really understanding it and not really knowing how to express, just kind of feeling it, and then getting to a stage where almost your intuition is knocked out of you, and then you're having to find yourself some way through going down many hard roads, many hard paths. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this. This is not just 88 days climb. And coincidentally, I've made another edition. I've decided that I'm going to, because I couldn't decide on whether it was Ishnok or Lough Crew for a while, and I thought, ooh, two sacred hills, One is a geographical centre of Ireland. The Festival of Fires is every year. It's a beautiful, beautiful. You can see 21 counties on a clear day. Lough Crew is equal of height and amazing energy. And Bealtaine will be a I think it's the 5th of May this year, when maybe 5,000 people will gather on Ishnok. So I've decided maybe to throw Ishnok into the mix and do an 88-day sunset climb. So sunrise in Loughcrew and sunset in Ishnok, and that will kind of tie in with a nice cyclical sunrise sunset. And yeah, I'll be sharing with you what happened to me, that big story from the first time I came across the 88 days, when I did achieve the sunset every day by climbing this mountain in the Canary Islands, Fuerteventura, where I learned the 14 communions of the Gospel of the Essenes while on that path. And I'll be sharing those communions with you. They're very poetic. They're ancient. Some say they go way back, 20,000 years old. Oh wow, that was 555 just when I said that, which coincidentally 55 once again is a number for me around. We have the 22, 33, Christ consciousness, 44. I remember that, and making these decisions are based on like, oh wow, I had 16 years here, and then 16 years here, and then 16 years there, and it's like, wow, I'm 48 next year. There's three 16s, back to numbers again. And while I was in the woods last year, attempting to do this fast, whilst I was convinced I was doing a year and a day in the woods without leaving it, and part of the beginning of that order was to do the 88-day fast, and to give myself 3 months to make life easy for me and maybe other people who might be helping me out with my shopping, by having this very minimal food intake, and anyway, I said before I got spat out, but at one point it was like, wow. While I was I was there for 5 weeks. While I was in the fast, I was becoming very monk-like, and massive explosions of vision, and dream time was amazing. And I was thinking, because at the time I wasn't seeing my daughter, I didn't expect to see her for maybe 8 years. I was just thinking I'd kind of cut the cords as if it wasn't going to happen, and try and make peace with that, and and think, well, maybe this is it. This is my calling. I'm going to do 8 years and 8 days in the woods. And I was convinced that that's what I was going to do, and that's how long it was going to take for me to, develop myself, which is why I said to you at the beginning of this first intro, it was like, I have no excuses, so I know I've been tangenting, making tangents, and not really being crystal clear, going off on tangents or whatever the case may be. And that's going to happen naturally in relation to you possibly noticing the change in me over the next 88 days, where I've had those moments, of absolute clarity, crystal clear about things, and just almost like, like I said, the ability to tap into the Akashic records, which, if you don't know, is where all knowledge is, and the open book of nature, and intuition, and psychic ability, all these things that tend to come back to you once you've unblocked yourself, which is why this fast is so important, and why it's getting to be a big thing, on the internet, and coming, lots of different people coming from different angles. Intermittent fasting, Dr. Sebi and his 90-day fast, years ago when a lot of cancer, I've been around, I lost a girlfriend, the cancer, that's a story in itself. I didn't even get to see her off. It was very sad. And, my aunt and my friend and people around me, and so I'd kind of been forced to look at things, and there was the Dr. Bros juice diet, and there's various, Gerson therapy, Catherine Gerson, the Gerson Foundation. So there's something in this for everybody in relation to how or what your illness is, whether it be mental, physical, cancer, and everything, like eyesight problems, whatever it is. It's a question of this could be good for everybody. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this for lots of different reasons, the difference in me and some people when I'm in their house is like, I've got one bin bag, like, almost like every 2 weeks to a month, whilst they've got like twice the size, 3 times the size bin bags every week and more. So we're talking about environmental sustainability. All the different areas that this touches upon in the way that we buy our food. That is packaged or unpackaged. Whether we go to the market or the supermarket. So I've been in training for years and years and years in this area of like how to, have a very low carbon footprint. And doing the right thing. In this area of food and intake, so there are so many other things that reasons for this as well, so I want to catapult myself in some way, towards a better diet, knowing that there is a massive difference in me. In my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional state, So to find an equilibrium between all those things is the main reason, And then for inspirational purposes, I'm trying to kick my own arse here, and at the same time trying to inspire, through leading by example, because this is the only way I've discovered works. For anything, and this is my interpretation of true leadership, is leading by example. And if you're not living it, I believe that this is the difference between why it falls on dead ears or why people respect certain people, because they are living it. A child knows hypocrisy, so if you're trying to teach your children something and they are refusing to listen or hear, you've got to look at yourself as to why this is, and most of the time it's because they know hypocrisy. And if you're standing there trying to teach them about sugar, yet you eat it yourself, how do you expect them to learn? They're not going to learn. They're going to see you as somebody that, not to be trusted or respected, so this is the thing. This is the importance of this, and if you want your child to pick up music, be in music, play music, you can't, my little girl, man, you say, oh, sing a song, because somebody's around, because she's amazing, and you want everybody to see her singing, and it just doesn't work. You just leave her to her own devices, and she will sing what she wants to sing. Now, my friend and I, we talked about this today, in relation to, entertainment, and you break down the word and what it actually means, and the difference in that, is the world at large. This is it. It's all about entertainment. Entertain me, It's like, I used to think I was really extra shy and introverted, etc. And I was like, no, it wasn't really just that, It was more about like, no, I'm not here to entertain. I want to move. I want to inspire. I want to, when it comes, and when I'm not forced, it likes to come a lot. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna have a look here. The other thing as well. I was speaking to about this guy today. His name was Jack too. About the fast and the 1 meal a day, and then he suddenly. He caught me later. He says, actually, I met this soldier once, and he had this beautiful Alsatian, and he says, for some reason, he just asked him, he said, what do you feed the dog? He says, well, 1 meal a day. And he said, well, why? He says, well, if I feed it any more than that, it will just fall asleep, and it won't be alert. And it was interesting because I just said the same thing to him earlier, in relation to, the kind of lethargy and the blocking, and the what are we actually blocking ourselves off to, because we're so full of food, we really are, just like we're blocking ourselves off from all this beautiful energy that exists out there, We're afraid to walk in the woods or climb a hill to catch the sunset or the sunrise. We haven't got time, or we make excuses because really we are, we're controlled pretty much through food and shelter. And when you break that down, this could be one of the most important things for us in order to take our life back, and have control of our own lives, faculties, So yeah, I'm running out of time. There's so many places to go with this, I gotta go again. So peace out, and we'll see you tomorrow.